consuming, the AARP Foundation Paid for Care Hub can help. It's a free online tool developed with support from United Healthcare, where you can search compensation programs, explore your options, and get answers to frequently asked questions. Find out today if it's possible to be compensated for the time, effort, and care you're providing. Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Shout out to you, Truth Nation, for tapping in, tuning in, whether it's via the podcast or via the app or via the YouTube or via your radio. I appreciate you joining in today. And if you hear anything that piques your interest and you want to call or text in, you can always hit us up at 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and Text line. Again, that is 833-212-1017. For those who like the visual, you can go to YouTube and you go to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. That's 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure you give us a like and you give us a subscribe. And when you get to YouTube, you will see that I am joined today, because it's Wednesday, by the legendary Homer Blow. Welcome back.
Hey, great afternoon. Listen, man, first and foremost, I am black. I am of the darker hue. The melanin runs deep in me. And I'm looking at myself on YouTube, and I'm like, hold up. I got a black background. I got a black shirt on. I'm black and heavy on the black. And I got to put that sign behind me because I look like I'm blending in.
Oh,
you
stop
know what I'm saying? I'm nighttime.
Oh, stop it! Wait a minute. Listen.
Either that or I'm gonna put Bango behind me.
We live in two different generations. What you mean you black? Black is beautiful. What you mean?
Oh, I know that.
But ain't nothing wrong with having black on black.
I just want them to see me.
They can see you.
Sometimes, I smile. I'm just saying. But other than that, it's like you're going to learn today. And I'm happy that I can smile. You feel what I'm saying? Some people can't. Some people got to go.
That's very true. That's very true.
Why are you talking like that and laughing like that?
One thing I don't like is
they whistle.
Yeah, they do.
I'm going to grab a sign, man.
I talked about my trip in Vegas yesterday, and there was a lady who was getting a little attitude in Vegas, and she was missing some of her teeth. And I was like, I can't listen. We can't take you serious here, man. We can't take you serious when you missing 4-5 of your teeth. Like, come on now. You trying to be all, you trying to be a security person and trying to be all strong. Like, come on now. You missing teeth. I can't take you serious right now. So that's one thing. I can't do, and I feel bad for people sometimes when they miss some of their teeth. So make sure y'all take care of y'all teethuses, because hygiene is my oral hygiene is essential. Definitely essential. That's my biggest thing. I'm nervous. Like, I try to brush my teeth, I floss, but I got cavities still, so.
Cavity creeps are real. The candy and sweets that I had not been real good to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
I don't even know I don't know what's real or fake in my parents' mouth sometimes.
Well, shout out to all the orthodontists.
For real, though.
Because, they can take someone who would normally be a whistler, a jack-o'-lantern, and turn them into humans again.
And that's beautiful because, I mean, I one day maybe when I get older, I may need them. But, Homer, really quickly, so yesterday, did you happen to hear the show yesterday? That's okay if you didn't. It's okay if you didn't.
No, I'm doing so much stuff for the birthday party for the kids.
Yeah, coming up. What day is that again?
Saturday, June 28th.
Yes.
Fitzsimmons Boys and Girls Club, 3400 West North Avenue.
Yes. You'll hear promos here on 101.7 The Truth promoting that Homer's birthday party, birthday bash, right?
31st annual.
31st annual. That's crazy, doing it so many years. But yesterday, I talked about I was in Vegas, right? And I'm sure most people have been to Vegas before, and I talk to my mom dang near every day. Usually I do a call with her. Shout out to my little cousin. The reason why we're talking, but shout out to my little cousin. Both my little cousins, actually. Shout out to them. One little cousin just signed with Memphis, University of Memphis. He's a Memphis Tiger, playing for Penny Hardaway, so shout out to him. Then my other little cousin, he signed with the Denver Broncos a couple weeks back, and so now he's starting their organized team activities yesterday. So shout out to both my little cousins. I'm glad I could inspire y'all to do something I couldn't. Be great. And so
that part.
So shout out to both of them. But we were on the phone talking, and she said, "Now, Kyle, I heard your show today." I said, "Oh, did you now?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Kyle, what happens in Vegas is supposed to stay in Vegas. You was telling all the secrets that happened in Vegas." I said, "Oh, come on, Mama, what you mean?" And so, Homer, I just thought it was interesting is my mom she's beautiful, but she ain't the youngest. She's part of the generation. She's a baby boomer, and I'm like, what you know about what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, Mama? And so I thought that was pretty funny when I was having a conversation.
Yeah, it doesn't change, bro. I mean, I don't know why you would break the motto and the mode by sharing the things. I mean, just say it was amazing, and you were able to experience. Not certain things that you're going to experience, but I was able to go to the Sphere. I was able to go to, I rode the roller coaster on the Circus, things to that nature. Like I went to the Broadway production just like yesterday. I went to the Broadway production.
Michael, the MJ one?
MJ. Oh, man, I see why it has Tony Awards. That thing is phenomenal. Good is an understatement. If you get a chance while it's here, opening night was yesterday. Go see it. It was phenomenal. But yeah, like there's certain things, man, that you get to experience in Vegas that it's supposed to stay in Vegas. I mean, why go against the grain?
Because I'm me. And I had a story to tell, and I had to tell it. So what's your wildest story from Vegas?
You know what? I'm not going to tell you.
Wow.
Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But I just wish some of the old school people from Vegas would hear you say that, because I'm me. And I think that you would remain in the desert.
That's funny.
He has a talk. He talks too much, huh? What are we gonna have to do? The paisan. Paisano.
Luckily, I made it back, but I thought that was funny. Now another thing I wanted.
I got some friends.
So, but 833-212-1017. So what I want to do is this, Homer, is that we are there's a trial going on, the Maxwell Anderson trial, in the death of Sade Robinson. The jury selection started yesterday. It selected jurors and very quickly. And I want to give some details that I found out about that. But in addition to the fact that yesterday when we had a conversation about, it was one of the things I went through. We talked about Sade Robinson. It was something that I saw that the text line blew up a little bit, and I saw there was a lot of interest in it. And I said, well, this might be something I need to go back to. But as we were texting, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, I'm trying to figure out if this isn't a open and shut case, right? I'm trying to think in my mind, how could we not find this man guilty? And right now, there's a couple things that I've seen that would give me a little bit of pause. I still feel good about it, but there is a little bit of me that is nervous because I most definitely do not want it to be a not guilty verdict. Like I definitely want it to be a unanimous guilty decision. And so 833-212-1017. On the other side, when we come back, Homer Blow and myself, the legendary Homer Blow and myself, are going to provide you with an update on the Maxwell Anderson trial, the individual who is accused of murdering Sade Robinson, dismembering her body and placing body parts in different places. And I'll give you an update on why we should have a little bit of pause for concern on whether or not we can 100% get a guilty plea. But again, this is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. You can watch and stream us live always by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. But on the other side, we're going to provide you with an update on the Maxwell Anderson trial and the gruesome murder of Sade Robinson.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing, streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle, while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now, subscribe to 1017 The Truth, and see this wonderful smile live every day.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Goodbye, King Walker.
Hey, I never let them see me sweat. I take that back. I never sweat, cause that just ain't me. I'm Mr. Glock. I shoot 2s and 3s. What the f you mean? Yeah, I get guap. Yeah, I get cream. This money ain't a thing. Yellow tape the scene. They pop them like a bean. Yellow diamonds, cheddar cheese. They hate and let them be. All these
It
on
is
me
Truth
like
to Power
please.
here on the
They love
award-winning
this, I die.
1017 The
My
Truth. I am your host of
What you
Truth
want
to
for
Power,
Christmas?
Kyle Walls, and today I am joined by the legendary
Homer Blow.
here on Truth to Power. And again, you can always watch and stream us live by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a subscription. Give us a like. And if you have any thoughts or comments on the conversation we're going to have today, make sure you chime in at 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to Text line. Now, we had a conversation to talk about the Maxwell Anderson trial, which is in relation with the gruesome murder that happened to Sade Robinson. He's the one who is being accused of murdering Sade Robinson. They went on a date. and she was never to be seen again. I do have a report from WISN 12 that gives us kind of a background story on everything that happened inside this case. But before we get to that video, Homer, when you remember going back to, I believe it was last year, what was the spring of last year, I want to say about a year ago, and hearing this story, and I'm sure you had a reaction that a lot of us had, is our hearts sank. We were sad. We couldn't believe, in disbelief of what we were reading, right? And we, as a community, we couldn't believe that a young 19-year-old who was in school, who was doing the right things, who was just simply going on a date with somebody, which many people do, myself, yourself, everybody here has been on a date with somebody that they don't, they are getting to know a little bit, and you never expect for something like this to happen as an individual when you go on a date. So when you initially heard this story, what came to your mind?
Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, and simply because of the dismemberments. You feel what I'm saying? That's what Jeffrey Dahmer did. You feel what I'm saying? And he would literally take them out to the trash or have them in barrels and things of that nature, and in the refrigerator. So unfortunately, with the Sade Robinson situation, we still don't have parts of her body.
Yeah, which is sad.
Even more traumatic, because although you want to try to get closure, can you really? And there's a chance of 2 years from now that they found this part. You feel what I'm saying? Because you have to relive it all over again.
You 100% do. But again, make sure you watch and stream us on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on the radio at 101.7 on the FM. We are going to play an article from WISN 12 to give us a little bit of background on who Maxwell Anderson is. And I'm going to talk about when we're done with the video. I have some information I want to provide to everybody to let people know why. Again, I feel good about the case, but there are some causes for some concerns. But go ahead and go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube for this WISN report.
In the interest of Maxwell Stephen Anderson.
Tuesday, the murder trial of Maxwell Stephen Anderson, charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson, all related to the death of 19-year-old Sade Carlina Robinson. What we know about Maxwell Anderson is limited, but piecing together records and court documents, Anderson has ties to Waukesha County, attending Kettle Moraine, Catholic Memorial, and Pewaukee High Schools in the late 2000s. Prior to the homicide, Anderson had several run-ins with the law, an OWI ticket in 2014, then again in 2022, a guilty plea. Also from 2014, a family fight in Waukesha County that ended with a guilty plea to disorderly conduct. 2015, court records from Door County show he pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct, criminal damage to property, and intimidating a witness after another family fight. And in 2019, in Milwaukee, he pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct after punching a man. The 34-year-old worked at different bars throughout the city, court records say, including at Twisted Fisherman, where the couple met for their first date. After, prosecutors say he came back to his home at the time near 39th in Oklahoma.
All we know is that she went to Maxwell Anderson's home with him, and she was never seen alive again, and her body parts were found around the community.
It's at that home where investigators arrested him last April. 3 weeks before the first date, a search warrant states Anderson took someone into the basement of that home. That confidential informant describes a room with a sanitation sink with tarps, quote, taped to the floor and ceiling, covering the walls and floor. A confidential informant is someone who gives info to police while protecting their identity and the investigation. It states Anderson told that person he, quote, intended to kill Sade Robinson by shooting Robinson, quote, then dismember her body in the room that they were in, and then dispose her body throughout the city. Records show investigators found a large black axe, female jewelry, women's clothing, and gasoline containers. Notably, they did find blood in his home on bedding and walls, but preliminary tests, according to an amended criminal complaint, say, quote, Robinson's DNA is excluded.
And so, James, that home and what investigators found will no doubt play a big role in the trial this week.
It will, Blake, but we know they went to the home after the date, but we don't exactly know what happened inside. His family, according to records, has since sold the home. What's in question is that we haven't seen a murder weapon in any criminal document, as well as how Sade Robinson died, both critical parts as prosecutors lay their case in the Milwaukee County Courthouse starting tomorrow.
All right, it all starts tomorrow. Investigative reporter James Stratton live with us tonight at 5.
I think you heard in the end there the critical parts that caused my concern, Homer. I don't know if you heard this as well, is the holes that Tony Cotton, who is the attorney for, or Anthony Cotton, who is the attorney for Maxwell Anderson, that concerns me is the fact that you don't have a motive of why, you don't have a murder weapon, and you don't have anything that you can attach his DNA to other than her car that he set on fire. That witnesses said that they saw him and they pointed him out. And he got on the bus after, and they saw it. And
Correct.
so there's again, we feel like he had pictures of her on his phone. There's so much leading to this being him. But there also are holes in the case, which all it takes is for one juror to make it a hung jury, which means that he would not be found guilty.
Absolutely.
And so that is the concern. And here's the thing I want you to hear: is here in Milwaukee County, how many black people you think in the city of Milwaukee?
Well, we it used to be like 200 and something thousand.
We make up just about, I believe, 40. I think we're over 40% of the city of Milwaukee, and then you have Milwaukee County as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what do you believe the makeup of this jury is, if it's a reflection of Milwaukee?
It's usually white dominated as opposed to black.
It is, and unfortunately in this case, and this is something that, again, for concern, the jury is there 15 jury members, 12 women, 3 men, and only 2 are African American. Now, we don't know the race of the other ones, but we do know only 2 are African American. And so when I think about this, that clearly there's probably a lot of white people. Not saying white people are going to sit here and find him innocent, but I do think that's something concern for me in a city like Milwaukee, that you talk about a jury of peers, and he has a jury of his peers.
Mm-hmm.
He has a jury of his peers, all right. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of times we don't get that same, when we go in the court system, we don't always have that. And so that was something that I thought was very noticeable when you look for reasons why this sick individual in this sick case might end up in a hung jury.
Yeah, well, there are other mitigating factors, in my opinion, that go into this. It's a lot of people that look like me, black people, that when they get a jury sequestering, subpoena to come, and we try to get out of it. You feel what I'm saying? So that is that's one thing. And because of that, people don't want to be on the jury. Yeah, they get the requests, and it's like, oh man, they throwing their hands up. And I always bring out the point, then how can we try to have a fair and balanced jury if we don't want to do jury duty?
Yeah.
We try to get out of it. What can we? I'm gonna get a doctor's excuse. I'm gonna get whatever it is. And oftentimes, it's not a lot of us in the jury pool that choose to be perhaps selected. My popularity omits me. I got the closest I got was called into the actual courtroom to be selected, and the judge knew me, his attorney knew me, and both of the people knew me.
Oh,
so they was like, home a blow, and it's like, yeah, he out.
You got to go.
And every time I always go. But before noon, they like, yeah, homie, you can just go.
Yeah, that's
so for me, I be wishing, because my opinions and my being able to talk to that jury, all of the other jury members while we're deliberating or whatever the case may be, man, it will hopefully open some light to whereas. Can you look at it from this angle?
Yeah.
Can you look at it from that angle?
Yeah, and that's another great thing, right? And the last thing you want to do is have somebody advocating for me for Maxwell Anderson, saying there's too many holes in this case. What are some concerns you have when you look at this trial, right? Again, we heard about this story. When you look at this trial, what are the concerns that you have just in general with, do you feel confident that the justice system will work in the favor of Sade Robinson and her family?
Money will work.
What do you mean by that?
The money. If you don't have the money to ride this trial out, the late Richard Pryor said in one of his comedy specials, you can get away with anything. You can get away with murder, but it's going to cost you. We don't have oftentimes the kind of funding. That's why we can't sue a lot of these corporations, and we have to try to get into a class action lawsuit to just try to have a little chance, because they got the money to stretch that case out for 5-10 years. And you got to remember, even if you have a lawyer on retainer, whatever information that they are getting for you, her or him, it's by the hour.
Mm-hmm.
And we can, we trying to come up with a valid lawsuit, but we don't have the funds. And he has the fund. They got the funds for him.
He has the fund. I'm telling you this right now. Tony Cotton, is a great attorney. He's a phenomenal defense attorney. I mean, he is the best one in the city. Homer, you could probably second that.
Absolutely.
He's the best attorney in the city. And I mentioned this yesterday, y'all, is that it is a lot. There's a lot of guilty people walking around here, but they had a great attorney to let them know. Look at, listen, we all feel like OJ probably did it. OJ probably did it. OJ went and wrote a book about it. If I did do it, right? He joked around, and so but he had a great attorney.
Absolutely.
You think about all these rappers and these famous people. I always think back to this is going in the sports world, but Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots. I remember in the Super Bowl down in like Miami one time, he went to a massage parlor. Now this massage parlor, they gave more than massages, right?
Yep.
They gave massages, but they did some extra stuff.
The happy ending.
And so he went there, and they had investigators there. They busted in on it. And so he was there. He got in trouble for it. The people who were running the place spent more jail time than he did. He got a slap on the wrist for getting a prostitute, for soliciting prostitute, and swept it under the rug. But money makes your problems go away.
Absolutely. And that's what I think, unfortunately, will be the deciding factor. Even if it comes down to taking some type of plea deal, it'll be something that can be appealed. And before you know it, little of no time, if any.
Again, there's undoubtedly holes in this case. There are. I think he did it, but there are some reasons for doubt, right? There are some reasons for people to have doubt because you don't. Why would he do this, right? Why would he do this? You don't have a murder weapon, right? Like, how did he do this by himself? They don't have tracking of his vehicle being in different places. Like, there's a lot of things that they're going to look at that would not play into the hands of.
And I feel, Kyle, that some of those jurors are going to look at it as Sharday Robinson being a black woman / girl. Some of her past or some of the things that they're going to bring out about her patterns of this and that. And they're going to be like, she brought it on herself.
Well, I would see that. I hope not, right? And that's why I think the makeup of the jury is so significant because let's be honest. I'll be the first one to say that I sympathize with all people's pain, but it's different when I see a black man break down, or I see a black woman break down, or I see a black child break down. It hits my heart differently. Again, I sympathize and empathize with everybody, But I'm not going to sit here and lie to people and think that when I see a black woman like Sharday Robinson, who was killed, and I see her picture in different places, that I don't feel a little deeper pain, right? That I don't feel a little deeper pain.
The reason that I say that with the jury makeup, in my opinion, there are people that don't look like me that had a problem with them lighting up the Home Bridge, lighting up the top of the former gas company, and everything went pink. And there were a lot of people that were upset.
What were they upset about? What were they complaining about?
That's a black girl. Why are we doing that?
There's no way, because I know they were talking about the park that people got upset about.
Yeah.
But the lighting up the Home Bridge.
There was issues with all of that. Why? You know what I'm saying? My son got killed, and you know what I mean. So it's different, bruh. It's different, and it's a sad reality. But until we unite and do the things that we need to do as a people, we're going to keep getting slapped in the face. And I'm talking about we pimp slapped. So it's like hit you one time, then come back and hit you the next time, and then shut up.
833-212-1017. We're providing you with updates on the Sharday Robinson murder trial. She was murdered, and Maxwell Anderson is on trial for being the individual they believe who had murdered her. The trial began yesterday with the jury selection. Now today they're starting with pleading their cases. 833-212-1017. I see your texts. I see your calls. We'll definitely get to that on the other side. Always remember you can watch and stream us live on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And I also want to ponder the whole thought about this insanity plea. That was a thing that was brought up with a caller yesterday who called in and said she's concerned that they might have an insanity plea, right? And so 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line. I want to hear your thoughts on this. And always remember, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube. But on the other side, we'll take your calls, we'll take your texts. I'm Kyle Walsh, the host of Truth to Power today with the legendary
Home Blow
on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Keep it locked. We'll be back.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
What if you could ask a question that leads to cleaner water? Discover aspects of the far reaches of space. or journey deep into data to improve healthcare. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee ask questions, find answers, and add to our understanding every day. Progress starts with the question. It starts at UWM, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Need to look sharp for graduation? You need
the $100 hookup.
Want to get decked out for prom? Get the
$100 hookup.
An incredible deal that includes a marvelous suit, shirt, tie, shoes, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavani's.com.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum,
I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneim. The Milwaukee Brewers won their third game in a row over the Boston Red Sox on Tuesday night. This one by a final score of 5-1 in walk-off fashion.
Pitch to him. Fly ball deep right. It's going to win the game. Abreu's going back and watching it sail. It's a grand slam. Oh, my goodness, Christian Yelich.
With the win, the Brewers improved to 28-28 on their season. Over to the NBA, where the Indiana Pacers have now taken a commanding 3-1 lead over the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. They win on Tuesday night, this one by a final score of 130-121. And tonight, the Thunder will look to stamp their ticket to the NBA Finals as they lead the Timberwolves 3-1. That tip-off tonight is set for 7:30. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Talking to your
it is Truth to Power on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and I'm coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue. I forgot to do something earlier today. Shout out to my girl Rhea holding it down.
Hey.
You didn't say nothing. I forgot. My bad. But also, I'm here with the legendary
Home blow.
And we're having a conversation talking about the Maxwell Anderson trial that started. If you didn't know, Maxwell Anderson is the individual who is right now on trial for the murder of Sade Robinson. 833-212-1017. Homer Blow and I have been having a conversation talking about this trial and whether or not we feel confident that we will get the verdict that we believe is deserved in this case, but we also do want to hear from you at 833-212-1017. And Tyrone in Milwaukee, what's crack-a-lack-a-lack-a-lack? And what are your questions you have about Maxwell being involved in the homicide in Brown Deer?
You're doing it a lot better than me, man. What's crack-a-lack-a-lack-a-lack-a-lack-a-lacking? Kyle, what's up there, man? Homer Blow, man. And what's up, Queen Rhea Riley, Miss Jazzy Rhea? Cracking.
Bless, man.
All right, good hearing you, man. On this up to dial, I missed those reports there on the those police reports. I'm missing that from down the way. I got to catch up with you, but congratulations on the birthday party for the youngsters.
Yes,
and glad you're still with us. But
thank you.
All right, and good hearing your voice. Good hearing you back, Kyle. I ain't gonna talk Vegas, but you know what? Prayers to the family. I don't know. I don't want to speak about the, I hope we do, but we know how that goes. And I wanted to, because Rhea's kind of young there, but Kyle and Homer, the Brown Deer said, wasn't that fella, wasn't he an Anderson too? Like you did something to my wife and then blamed it, and then everything closed down. Baskin Robbins, all that stuff closed down out there.
Are you talking about what happened with Northridge, the individual
that TGIF one situation?
Yeah,
wasn't he? Mm-hmm. He was an Anderson too.
Yeah,
I thought about that. I'm like, man, you got all these infiltrators. You love the one you with, not lust. The Isley brothers got it right. Love the one you with. Stop lusting. Mm-hmm. Love the one you with, not lust. If you can't handle the queens, we're here. You can. But that's rough. If you don't know how to, stick with what you got there. Don't be killing the queens and the babies and stuff there, man. Because you don't know how to. If it's going to do.
I think his phone call dropped there. Sorry about that, Tyrone. But 833-212-1017. Brian in Menominee Falls, what are your questions or comments about the conversation we're having today about the trial of Maxwell Anderson, the individual who's accused of killing Sade Robinson?
Well, I'm going to take it right to the heart of the matter. It's racism altogether. The system is not the problem. The problem is it's been racism with this from the start. From the investigation of the police to the non-interrogation of Matthew Anderson at the start of the whole thing. They've been treating this white dude with kid gloves since the beginning. So
how so?
That's why you don't have. They didn't even look for a murder weapon. They haven't even stressed that he admitted to a friend of his that he wanted to kill that girl. They haven't even brought that. They haven't even publicly stated the benefits of the facts that they have, the overwhelming facts that they have to convict this guy. They're going to and also this goes back to the prosecutors as well. The prosecutors are going against Tony Cotton with kid gloves. They're not fighting. If this was black on black, with a black person having a lot of money, oh yeah, he'd have been crucified. The person would have been interrogated to the 9th degree. The initial day that he got caught, they didn't interrogate this guy. The police didn't interrogate this guy. They could have. I think they went and bought him a burger or something. And
I didn't hear that. I don't want people walking around saying
like that.
I don't want people walking around saying that.
Yeah, that was another situation.
I'm giving an example.
Yeah.
I'm giving an example of the kid gloves they've been treating this white boy with since he's been incarcerated. They've been treating him with favor. The whole jury from West Dallas, which all of them are closet racists.
Well, Brian, so you've thrown a lot of accusations out there. You're saying, how do you know that the jury is from? How do you know the jury is from West Dallas? I mean, Milwaukee County has many different communities.
Them the only people that they pull from. They basically pull from because those people do the most of the voting. They do the most of activism in their favor. I guarantee you, at the end of this trial, poll the 12 jurors and ask them what community they came from. I guarantee you they'll be from West Dallas. You won't see, and black folks, we do need to be on these juries. We need to stop being up. I wanted to say what I really wanted to say. Stop being a little cowards and get on these juries. We are never going to get any justice for any of our black folks that are wronged in this city unless we're on the jurors. Because you cannot leave it up to a white system to convict another part of the white system. Period. We can see it for what it is, but them folks don't see it for what it is.
Yeah.
They see it for just let it go by, and we found loopholes and all this kind of stuff, and this is our comeuppance from OJ getting off. That's it.
Okay. Well, I hear you, Brian. Again, my thing is this, Homer. I feel like a lot of times when we have these cases that we are nervous because of the trauma that we have from the past, right? Like the different cases that we have, and then even the family trauma that was passed down on the injustices that, I'm sure your grandparents had that passed down to your parents, that passed down to you, that you passed down to your kids. There's just this trauma that we have and this mistrust that we have from the government. Even talking about like the Freedmen's Bank, like there's people have to understand that, yes, Brian might sound upset. It sounds like he doesn't trust the system. It sounds like he doesn't trust people from different communities, but we can't sit here and point the finger and blame Brian for having that mindset. Brian don't know nobody on that jury, but based off his life experience, based off what he's seen other people go through, that's the only way that he has to think. And I brought up the Freedmen's Bank because of the fact that a lot of black people, they talk about, oh, y'all got mattress, y'all keep y'all money under the mattress, keep the money over a mattress, put it in the bank. Well, when people did put it in the bank back in the late 1800s after they were freed, the money went poof. It disappeared.
Absolutely.
It was mismanaged by people that didn't look like them. So it leads to a mistrust when people continuously do you wrong. You have a mistrust. So when we look at the system, right, and we look at these prosecutors who, in my purview, it seems that they pick and choose when they really want to prosecute.
Real talk.
They pick and choose when they really want to get somebody. The individual, his name has escaped me, but he murdered an attorney. He was on a bicycle and he murdered an attorney. I don't know if you recall this, Theodore Edgecombe. And Theodore Edgecombe murdered one of theirs, and it seemed like the prosecution was trying to get that, like that it was personal, right? It was absolutely personal, and I feel like in a lot of these other cases, it's not always personal. It's just somebody else, and so I understand why Brian in Menominee Falls has the feelings and the thoughts that he has when it comes to the mistrust with the system. But in this point, we got to let things play out.
Yeah. And Jesse, shout out to your brother Odom. Jesse Anderson was the name for the one that was out there that ended up.
Yes, for Northridge. Yeah, where he blamed a black man for killing his wife when it was actually him.
And all that plan. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Just crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of things that gives us reason to mistrust the system in so many different ways. But, sometimes, man, we carry, in my opinion, some things that we have control of, and we don't even utilize that. So until we start utilizing some of the things that we have control over, then we're not even ready to fight or attack.
When you say control of, what is it that we have control of to allow us to fight and attack the system from a better perspective, or just overall be strengthened?
Stop killing each other. Stop killing each other. Stop recklessly driving in our communities and high-speed chasing because you wouldn't pull over. You wouldn't pull over, so now somebody's mother is dead. So now one of the proprietors of May Velma's is dead. You feel what I'm saying? Because you just all of these different things that we can control. We won't clean up our own damn yards, man. We have to wait until somebody wants to do a citywide cleanup just to clean up your own yard. We won't take care of our property. We're talking about, with rent going up the way that it is. And I know that's another subject and another situation, but we won't even try to take care of whatever the hell we got. We got to learn to get ourselves together. Stop attacking us.
Yeah.
So we can really take that energy and attack the real problem.
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. But I do think there's some general protections that we have, regardless of how reckless a community is. And let me tell you, I mean, there are some things that need to be improved. And I know tomorrow I'm going to talk about some of the things that we definitely need to improve. But it's still, at the end of the day, I'm a huge proponent of the police work for me. I don't work for them. I listen. If I respect you or not, it doesn't matter. You're not here to be respected. You're here to police. And when I say that, as a human being, everybody deserves respect.
Yeah.
But when you come to a situation, you're here to serve me.
To get respect, you got to give respect, and a lot of people don't even give them the common courtesy respect.
But Homer, again, I respect law enforcement for what they do. But
I do.
But if they run into a situation, right, where somebody got their car stolen or somebody mad and they get in an attitude, I don't give a damn how mad they are. Your job is to help solve it. Right. If you show up to a situation and people are being difficult with certain things, but you have a job, you got to do your job regardless of how they make you feel, because my tax dollars go to you to be able to do a job and help to serve and protect the community. Are you going to allow somebody
to come in here and racially disrespect you while you're here? What I'm saying is,
different.
You work for, right? Okay, so I'm saying when people talking about people working for, would you take me coming in here disrespecting you and you still not end up reacting?
It's very different.
We'll agree to disagree on that.
They have a higher standard of what they have to operate with.
Standard, when you're operating, respect is respect.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is that what I do not like is when police walk around, because a lot of these police officers walk around here like they stuff don't stink, and just because they have on a uniform, it gives them some sense of power to be able to demand respect from everybody. When they ain't listen, they haven't accomplished in a lot more than a lot of people in this world. A lot of these dudes is drunks. A lot of these dudes have a lot of issues going on, especially with the stress that they have with these jobs. I get it, but what I'm saying is this: is that when police officers or people who are supposed to protect and serve our community, I don't want you coming in here judging my community and making a decision that you're not going to put a full-hearted effort into solving something, into helping people because, they got an attitude. I don't give a damn that they got an attitude. They called you for a reason. It's your job to figure it out. Now, if they stop you from doing your job, that's one thing. But if they give you attitude or they being disrespectful, you just got to work through it. That's just the way I look at it, because because that's the role you get into. These nurses work with these elderly folks who got dementia and be hitting them. They can't just say, well, you done hit me, I'm done. No, they have a problem. They got dementia or they got something going on. You still got to do your job. No. And so that's the one thing that I feel like a lot of police officers that rubs me the wrong way is that they're gung-ho. They forget why they got in here. Right? They end up getting power hungry versus getting servant hungry. And that's the problem that I have with it. But I agree. I treat everybody with respect, but I'm saying you can't stop doing your job because you've been disrespected. If I got into a car accident and you coming to do an investigation, I get mad and attitude, and you saying, "Well, sir, I'm not gonna help you." The hell you ain't gonna help me. What you mean?
Listen,
so that's my perspective.
If you are being, in my opinion, if you are being combative. You understand what I'm saying? If you are being combative, then it's cause and effect, man. It's, in my opinion, that's just my viewpoint. So like I say, we can agree to disagree on this particular situation, but you're not going to come in and disrespect my employees and expect just because they are there for your customer service that I'm going to have them be subjected to you acting a damn fool. That's not going to happen. Sir, ma'am, you're going to have to leave, period. I'm not going to allow you to disrespect my employees and my company.
Your employees in your company are not paid by the people. Well, that's not their job. That's coming to a private business, private company being disrespectful. You got to go. I just believe that there's a higher standard.
Everybody is a human, though.
No, I agree. No,
that's where I'm going.
We agree, but on that part. But I just say that they have a higher level of standard of what they have to deal with. Which I know they deal with a lot, but I'm just saying I hold them to a higher standard than anybody else. That when they got into this role, they understood what they were getting in, so they are human, but they understood what they were getting into. Right. And if you understand what you're getting into, you got to know, hey, I got to deal with this. As a teacher, when that teacher dragged that student across the floor in Milwaukee,
resolution,
that student was probably acting a dang fool, right? But it is your job to make sure that you take a deep breath.
They want to go home at night.
You handle it in the right position.
They want to go home. They got children that they want to go home to.
I got
a girlfriend, they got a wife, they got a mother, they got a father, they got grandparents, they got themselves.
Yeah.
And they too want to go home.
833-212-1017. Rudy, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. You're going to share your thoughts here on the Sade Robinson case.
It's Ruby.
I'm sorry, Ruby.
That's okay. I was just going to say that I thought it was heartbreaking that this happened to this young girl. And my prayers and everything go out for her family and friends. And I want to say that I didn't understand how we as taxpayers, when we get behind on our taxes and stuff like that, they can put a lien on our property. Why was it not a lien put on that property? And why was it allowed to be sold?
I think because of the fact Ruby, is that he's not guilty of anything, and maybe they already got all the evidence that they needed out the home, that they no longer needed to keep the home under any type of, investigation, that he had the freedom to sell his home. I get where you're coming from, but we do have to remember that you are innocent until you're proven guilty, and if the government doesn't need it for evidence, Homer, you can correct me if I'm wrong, if they don't need it for evidence, they can't control you from selling your home if they don't need it as part of evidence.
Correct.
But I looked at it like, I understand that too, but I looked at it like, if he did this crime, that property should not have been allowed to be sold until after the trial. There should have been a lien put on there until, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Okay, if he's found guilty, restitution, that property should have been sold and the money should have been given to the family. How is that going to happen when the property's already been sold?
Yeah, because
where's the money going? Towards the attorney?
Yeah, because my thing, Ruby, this is the legendary home of blow. My thing with that is, what if during the trial that's happening now, he ends up saying, "Well, y'all didn't look in the wall. I actually dug out the wall and then brought some stuff to make it look like it's never been dug out, and parts of her body are there." And now you got to go into somebody else's home. So I get it. I understand. The Jeffrey Dahmer apartment building didn't get tore down until well after he was convicted.
Right.
Yeah,
it was a tourist attraction.
Because I remember in the Joel Acevedo case as well, the police officer. Thank you so much, Ruby. Joel Acevedo case as well. I believe they did not. I believe he was able to sell his home as well, and that's where he was murdered Joel was murdered by the police officer on the outside of the home. But that's what I believe it is. It's more than likely because they're done with the investigation, and so I mean that's the reason why they
legally, like I say, they do have that.
So I mean that's the thing, because if it was still part of evidence and they have it on hold, they wouldn't allow it to be sold. But there must have been something where they must have not needed it.
Yeah, I'm just riding with Ruby on this. And my reason again is, what if during this trial it comes out? Because
I know I hear
clear it if all of Sharday Robinson's remains have been found. Clear it if all of her body parts have been found.
I agree.
They haven't.
I agree.
So in my opinion, it should still be an active crime scene. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree, but they let him sell it. So I don't know all the reasons and why they allowed him to sell it. So 833-212-1017. On the other side, we're going to wrap up this conversation. I'm joined by the legendary
Home Blow
on Truth to Power here, and we'll finish up the conversation sharing our last thoughts.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Truth Nation, unfortunately, violence is on the rise in Milwaukee, and this is a problem which impacts us all. Please join me and the Truth team on Saturday, July 12th from 9 a.m. to noon for our third annual Walk Against Violence, supported by 1MKE. Enough is enough. Now it's time to bring an end to senseless violence in our community. To join our Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 12th, visit truthwalkagainstviolence.com to sign up today.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
One, two, three, ho!
Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. We're going to wrap up the show here. We're going to have final thoughts with Homer. What are your final thoughts here on the conversation for today?
Man, listen, we have to stop running from jury duty summons so we can end up making sure that there is a fair and balanced jury, because we know how many people that look like us are caught up in these situations. And find out how the system works. Go in there so you can understand being inside of it. So until we do that, we're going to have a lot of mixed juries, and they're not usually going to be in our favor. And again, I still believe that the house should not have been sold, because we don't know where all the rest of Sharday Robinson's remains are. And it's crazy, man. So I just want to let people know that if nobody has told you that they love you today, I want to let you know that I love you. And I want you to please have a safe and nonviolent remainder of the afternoon, evening, night, early morning. I love you. I love you. I love you. Saturday, June 28th, put it on your calendar. The 31st annual Homer Blow birthday party for the kids. I'm going to Dog City and get me one of them cherry and blue raspberry slushies. Shout out to Big Kid.
Shout out to Big Kid, indeed. And my final thoughts on this is that let's just stay hopeful. I believe that the prosecution has a lot of witnesses that they're bringing. I believe they have enough information in order to bring a guilty plea, regardless of some of the holes that are in the case. But as you said, let's stay prayed up and let's stay hopeful. And I see in the chat here, some people are talking about for the family and the mother having to go through this. Let's be thinking about the family having to go through this, because that's something that it's tough for us to stomach, hearing these stories about the dismemberment. And we talked about before, seeing a young black lady having to go through all this. Imagine being a mother having to relive all this and having to hope and make sure, and hearing, somebody try to defend a human being like Maxwell Anderson, who is obviously a horrible human being,
right,
for what he has been accused of, and has lack of character for some things he's done in his past as well. And so let's just make sure that we stay hopeful that the justice system works in the favor of this community, her family, and also for all women. But this has been Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Homer Blow, thank you so much for joining today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
The legendary Homer Blow, the Tory Lowe Show is up next with Wonderful. Peace out. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be